Oh, we are back. We are back. I'm in the lovely state of Florida, enjoying my life down here. It's hot today. Got some sun on the beach. In a new part of Florida. I've never been to Inglewood. That's where we're at. So it's been for my sister. It's like her trip for graduating school. We surprised her on Christmas.
Ooh.
Uh, so this whole area is for shark teeth. Known for shark teeth.
Yeah.
So we found like 15 today. So it's actually kind of cool. They're the little shark teeth. So it's pretty cool. So
Our
that's
buddy,
kind of,
our buddy Lane Francis, that's where he goes for Florida,
Englewood.
and he has quite the collection of shark teeth.
Yes, there's
That's
it's pretty cool. I I was like I like kind of thought we'd be like the only ones. You're supposed to have the tools to like scrape and like it's kind of like you're mining for gold actually.
Oh.
And we get to the beach and literally everybody was doing it. Because everybody has like these sift things and they're like all
It's a big gold rush.
yeah. It was pretty funny. I'm gonna make a funny TikTok out of it.
Nice.
Because I'm gonna be like relaxing on the beach, and then all you look around is all these people just looking for shark teeth.
So glad where our football team is playing the team named after the gold rush this week here, this Sunday
right.
as well. Yeah, you want to get nerdy here. Shout out history. Let's go. Get in the bag. 2 minutes in, one old guy that would appreciate that would probably be Kyle Whittingham. He's an old man. He'd appreciate a joke like this.
Yeah, I mean, he's an old guy that kind of got pushed out and then kind of stumbled upward, I would say. Jerry, you made the point when I said he was retired or that he was retiring that he fully wasn't retiring. And then, he didn't fully retire. So, yeah, Kyle Whittingham gets hired by Michigan. I hate Michigan, but I think this is a great hire, and it's probably the best hire of the cycle, to be honest with you. Like, it's one of those things where you stumble into greatness, basically, because you get a coach that's legit. He's no nonsense, which is exactly what they need. A guy that has a great reputation as a coach, never really any gray area problems. And the guy, he was 177 and 88 at Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Took over for Urban Meyer, and they were non-power conference back in the day. Got him into power conferences. They still dominated. They're still good. Went to many Rose Bowls. I mean, this is the best hire you could have made.
Yeah, they stumbled into this, and there should be a massive check going from the state of Michigan, depending on who wants to send it, to the state of Utah and these state institutions, because this is a blessing. Even if Kyle Whittingham does not work out, which is a very true possibility. Tom Fornelli, he's one of guy I follow on Twitter, does like college football stuff, and says one of my favorite lines he'll do is, Kyle Whittingham's a great hire to Michigan. I have no clue if it'll work. None of us really do, right? But everything about this makes sense. You have a guy who at Utah has built basically a Big Ten team. A lot of those years, they're very physical. They'll beat you up, but they're not stuck to one spot. And I think the thing about Michigan that was so interesting is that even with all of the stuff going around this, you still have one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football sitting on your roster in a decent lineup and roster that you need to keep together. Some of that helps now that actually you have the NIL and stuff in this world where Bryce Underwood has a really good deal, as he should, and stuff like this. But you couldn't really bridge coach this. Like there's talk about Biff Poggi taking this job over, and that would stink. Not that I think Biff's good or bad, but when you have some major pieces committed and staying in this program, you need a guy like Whittingham. And if 5 years from now he decides to hang it up, as long as he kind of just keeps the ship going forward, it does not do anything that has happened in the last 5 years at Michigan, they'll be great, right? Like if you don't have a stupid scandal or a big time, I don't say scandal, but big time problem with your head coach, if he's just kind of quiet and good, and even if they don't capitalize, let's say on Bryce Underwood, but they keep the ship going forward, everyone was reminded that Michigan is fantastic like they are. They had a good year. I don't want to act like they're bad, right? But reminds people what Michigan can be when they don't have stupid controversy around them. You could jump into another big boy coach if he hangs it up in 5 years, because, again, he is 66, did not retire from Utah, stepped away, the whole mess of this. There will be some concerns. This is a guy who wasn't fantastic in the NIL world. People in Utah will credit and push out the fact that BYU really jumped them in recruiting. And that's something that I don't know if that's BYU just got a bag, as we've seen them drop on some folks, or if Utah's kind of stumbled a little bit. But you won't have that problem in Michigan. This is great. This is great for a lot of those things. You needed a guy who wasn't a Jim Harbaugh in that world of after all the stuff. He's not. And he's in a run a program that is very good at being physical, but it can adapt to a talent pretty well. Look at this team this year who ran their quarterback like crazy. You don't think of that with Kyle Whittingham. They did with Dampier. I like this on all fronts, but again, no clue if it'll actually work, but I can like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is interesting too because this is kind of Michigan saying that we're okay with the fact that maybe 5 years from now we have to go find another coach, which is it's kind of interesting to me. With Whittingham, he has been at the top of the college football world as regarded as being a good coach for a very long time. I think it's a great hire, especially if you're going, hey, if in 5 years we need to find another coach, it's not the biggest deal in the world. This is a good hire. And I think too, it kind of depends on what your standard for success is while he is there. If you're expecting national championships and stuff, that's probably not in the cards, at least more than like a dynasty being created at Michigan. But I think he'll have the capabilities of making some really good Michigan teams. And like you said, Jerry, keeping them together is the most important idea, not letting your team get poached by other teams during this kind of instability. So this is a great for Michigan. Sherrone Moore was a good coach, but this guy Whittingham has he has the legacy that this is kind of a big name and his name fits the brand of what Michigan is. I would say Sherrone Moore's name maybe didn't fit that because he kind of came in and then was there from Harbaugh's staff, and then he kind of assumed the role. This is a big coach that's created his own name and had a very big program. So I'm excited to see what they do. Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is that I told Jonathan this. It's 4 to 5 years now in college football is like 10 years.
Yeah.
It's the new 10 years. So 4 to 5 years, he's there. You get somebody. Maybe he brings in an assistant that comes in and maybe gets on the staff, or maybe in 5 years somebody that they want that's maybe not on show clause anymore could come back and be their coach. You never know. So yeah, I mean, so it also sounds like he's bringing Jason Beck, the offense coordinator from Utah, with him as well. He's a very physical offensive coordinator, does the thing, run the ball. Kyle Whittingham said that today in his press conference. He's like, look, I want to run the ball. I want to be physical, which that's what Michigan wants to hear. So that it works out very well. And it also looks like Jay Hill is going to join him as the defensive coordinator. So I think that's going to be an interesting thing too, is how many people does he keep on staff? How much does he change of that? So that will be interesting. Let's get into some comments here. Luke says, good evening.
Good evening.
Johnson says, great hire. I had to talk Johnson off a cliff about this hire at first. He wasn't happy about it. I'd bet this was all planned. And then Luke says it wasn't. Biff kind of screwed him, but it worked out in the end. I mean, it's just one of those weird days. What's going on there?
I turned something on. What it was, I'm not sure. I could have just armed a nuclear weapon for all I know. That was a terrifying sound.
Yeah, Cassopolis is not going to blow up.
The 1 weekend Caleb's out there, it's going to blow up.
Dude, that was terrifying. I've been playing some Arc Raiders. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Yeah, no.
Basically, the bad guys are robots. That sounded like a bad robot guy, dude. I got some flashbacks there for a second.
Yeah, you paused the game. That's what that was. You got right back on. You paused the game to the podcast. And it's like, oh,
that
man.
was terrifying. Oh my! I was like, something's exploding or on fire or.
But yeah, no. I mean, Michigan. They wanted Kalen DeBoer. I think honestly, Alabama won. That didn't work out. I don't know why you'd want him anyways. And you get a guy where he wasn't a head coach anywhere. You didn't have to pay a buyout. You didn't have to pay your old coach. He's getting paid like $8 million a year. You saved money on this to dump into NIL. I mean, it's like this is everything you could have. He's going to bring in a whole new staff. Biff talked about how the culture's been kind of messed up the last 5 years, which is funny because Biff also has been there, so he was kind of like throwing shade at himself a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna go to the game Wednesday, so I'll give a report of how it looks and feels. But as long as you have Kyle Whittingham and Bryce Underwood comes back, I don't think you should. I mean, like everything else is fine.
Yeah, no, and him bringing Whittingham bringing his OC with is also a big deal because again, one of the things that Whittingham's done the last couple of years is he's adapted to his talent. And Michigan fans, you should be very excited to hear this because this is not going to be a guy that's coming in and goes, "We do this a certain way." The last couple of years, they had those quarterback problems on the guy who played for like 18 years. I can't remember off the top of my head. Cam Rising wasn't there. It is. and they tried to really work towards him. But then this year they brought in Dampier, who's more of a dual threat guy, and he decided to kind of like the Eagles do.
Did the Eagles who scored? Who scored?
No, we stopped the Bills on 4th and goal.
Well, that's something that Utah teams would do because they're very aggressive and physical defensively as well. So bringing a lot of that staff is a big deal. But again, offensively, go back to Dampier. He was more of a dual threat guy, so they ran him. Like, he's not set to a certain way. Beck is a big time move with him because there have been questions about Utah's offense in years past. So again, this is you stumbled into this one, and you're going to take it and you're going to enjoy it because even if he stinks, let's say it just doesn't work. As long as you're not in like some scandal problem again here, you can hire and be Michigan again. You just like in the world here in a way, it's like you need to be kind of quiet, not too quiet, but like you go 9-3 next year again with Whittingham, and he just says the right things in press conferences. You lose a game here and there. That's fantastic. And I know Michigan fans would be like, we have this great quarterback. We want to do this and that. That's fine. If you're just kind of like sneaking around a playoff spot next year, and then maybe even the year after that, you really excel forward, perfect. Right? Instead of being like, oh my God, we have Biff Poggi, who could be good, could be bad. I don't know. I'll be curious to see if they keep him on staff. He really worked to keep the recruiting class together. So there is an element that I am curious about, but like a lot of good vibes on this hire, especially at the time where this program can go through a lot of weird things. I don't know what the future of a lot of that athletic department above him looks like. So you want to have someone that feels steady. Whittingham's peak of steady, stayed at Utah for 20 plus years, replaced Urban Meyer. We were not born when Kyle Whittingham started this job.
I was, Jerry.
That's right. You're old.
Not when he was at Utah. I mean, I was there when he started. Come on. No, but the other thing to the athletic department side is you can hire Kyle Whittingham, and the school can still fire Ward Manuel once they find the president. What I was thinking. Because Kyle Whittingham's not going to be there for 10 years plus. He's going to be there for probably 5 years at the most, 4 to 5. So then that new athletic director can then come in, and he's going to get his own head coach anyway.
He's working up the ladder, baby.
It's a good thought, and he did a great job, I will say, in a world now where we don't think of the players in college football as kids and like try to nurture them and understand that they are 18 to 22-year-olds. Biff did a very good job of that, and Michigan should be very thankful of that because there could have been a lot of kids that were like, we're out of here, or we're leaving, or we're not playing in the Cheez-It Bowl, or we're going to wait to figure out who our coach is. He kind of kept them together, rallied the troops, and figured it out. So I would assume he's going to stay on the staff, but I don't know. I don't know if Whittingham looks at it. Michigan probably could have told him too, like, you need to clean out the staff. Like, we need a complete new restart. But we'll see. But I think this gives you the flexibility you can fire Ward Manuel, which I think he needs to be fired. You should start with him next. You just don't have a president right now, so it would have been weird to do it. But this allows you to do that, and it opens up a lot of stuff financially too. You're not going and getting Kalen DeBoer and having to pay him $14 million to coach you, so you save money there. I don't know. I just think it was a great move. It was smart. I was shocked that they did the smart thing, and it worked out.
Sometimes it's just that simple, Like you find, again, stumbled into this. And it's probably one of the best things that's going to happen in Ann Arbor, at least in terms of stability standpoint. If there's anything about it, it's stability. It's what you needed. It's what you're going to get with Whittingham. And then who knows?Maybe they'll end up playing in some of the big games that we're going to start previewing here on whatever date it is, because we're in the holiday season. Sundays feel like Tuesdays. Tuesdays feel like Wednesdays. I worked all week. Not to flex my muscles and bones here. And I didn't even know what day of the week it was half the time, which is kind of concerning as the news person. I need to know what's happening the day of. I was just kind of like, you know what? I think it's Thursday. Yeah, it's Christmas today. The Cotton Bowl's on December 31st. I think that's Tuesday. I don't know. These days are all the same, but this is going to be a good matchup, whatever weekday it is played, because, it's not even a weekend. It's just like on a Wednesday or something. No, well, last night kind of messed me up. I thought last night was Sunday night because they had the NBC night game. On Sunday. That was the Peacock game. That wasn't even NBC. That was the Peacock.
But it was like it felt like Sunday Night Football was on, but it wasn't. It was Saturday. So December 31st, which I think is Wednesday, the Cotton Bowl kicks off the 4 games of the playoff. What is this? The quarterfinals? Yeah, the quarterfinals. Yep. I guess. They don't call it like the Elite 8 or whatever, and they need cool names for this stuff. They need to figure that out.
Well, they change stuff every 2 years. You can't make cool names. You're doing it every 2 years.
Figure that out first. We have the Cotton Bowl, December 31st, 7:30 on ESPN. Ohio State is a 9.5-point favorite. Over under set at 42.5. You can get Miami at plus 80 money line. This is a very interesting game because I said it last week. This game reminds me a lot of like when the Giants played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Defensive line versus that offense.
The thing is, I also think Ohio State's defense is fantastic as well. If anything, this feels like part two, but just not in Texas A&M, not in Aggie land, of what we watched in Miami's first round game. It's not that I even think Ohio State's offense is bad. Ohio State's offense is better than A&M's offense. I think that's pretty fair and easy to say. But Matt Patricia, again, you want to talk about you want to talk about the Patriots? Here, how about Matt Patricia just deciding, Matt Patricia's defense has been fantastic for Ohio State. And I don't think Miami's offense has figured out that much. What I'm really curious about this week, and it's through all these games, and it's going to kind of reflect somewhat of my picks, is how much does the extended bye actually help? I think last year that was the prevailing theory is, oh my God, the bye is actually bad because teams lost in the bye. Now, one thing to note is that this year it is the top 4 teams, not the top 4 conference champions. So like last year, Boise was in this, and Boise was good. Boise probably should have played a first-round game and could have won last year. I don't know if they were bye potential, right? And standings-wise, they weren't. This year, all 4 of those teams, they're 1, 2, 3, 4, not the 8th seed jumping into like the bye week. But if that prevails, if there is some like actual rustiness, this could be another 10-3 game that just feels disgusting. But still, even with it, I think Ohio State's just that good. And it kind of comes down to like, who do you trust more? I think both these defenses are about a wash. I think they're both elite. But I trust Julian Sayin and that receiving core like this much more than I trust Carson Beck and the friends there. Malachi Toney's obviously legit. He's a very fun option. If Miami learns they can run the ball inside, that might be different. But I also know Ohio State can stop the run. Like that's kind of the hard part here. Give me Ohio State, but it's going to be close, ugly. That line being like 9.5 feels really nice because this feels like a touchdown game where it's like 10-3, maybe 13-3, something like that, where it's just low scoring.
Yeah, one thing I'm really interested in is seeing how, because obviously we've seen like Miami be able to hold its own in the trenches, specifically on defense. So I'm interested to see if they can do the same thing with Ohio State here. But I do think Ohio State just has too much for Miami to keep up with. So I'm going to take Ohio State to win this. And like Jerry said, I trust some of the guys on Ohio State a little bit more than I trust the Miami fellows.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's been very good all year. They were dominant all year. And then they played Indiana, and it didn't look like what we'd expected. I don't know if they tried to change things up or do things differently. I think it's they're going to kind of have the same mentality they had for the Michigan game last year, where like they were tense in that game, they lose, and then they kind of go carefree in the playoff. I think that's kind of how they're going to play. But I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. I like Miami in this game. I do. I think,
I don't hate that pick.
I think
I've gone back and forth.
No, it's tough because I think with their pass rush, I mean, Indiana had 5 sacks against Ohio State. When you think of Indiana, you don't think of elite pass rush. When you think of Miami, that's like the start of their defense, which is very good, is the pass rush. I think they're going to make it tough. And I also go back to when Mario Cristobal was at Oregon, I want to say, was that 4 or 5 years ago. They went into Ohio State, and they beat Ohio State, and they really weren't supposed to. That might have been the weird year. They had like the weird quarterback in between Bo Nix and Justin Herbert. I just think no, it was another year maybe.
No,
it might
have
been.
Landing. Yeah, I'm trying to think here. Yeah,
but it was like one of those weird years where they had like a funky quarterback and their defense stepped up and played and won the game. I don't know. I think physicality. I think Mario Cristobal in Miami, they have this chip on their shoulder like, hey, we weren't supposed to be in this, and I don't know. I like Miami in this game. I think it's 9.5 to me is I'll take it, and I think Miami's put that up on the bulletin board. And if this game is gross, like Miami wants it to be played, and I think it's going to be played, I'm going to go with Miami. I don't know, just a gut feeling.
I don't hate that pick. I came on here, I think, after last week and said that they are, I think, the wild card team of this playoff. Like, if there's any team that can make that type of run and has the talent to do it, it is Miami. I just worry about the fact that they did not get it started at all against A&M offensively. And I don't know if they're necessarily going to put up fireworks against another good defense. So it's kind of like who can slug it out more.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And that's going to be,
what happened?
We were talking about slugging it out defensively. I just saw Josh Allen take a big boy sack, and that might be the theme of this game.
He got sacked
like 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
No. And that's the thing.
I just care about Devonta Smith and James Cook in that game.
Yeah, I understand. I get you. Game recognizes game, but see, like sacks like that Philly's putting together, I think it'd be the theme of this game because of how good both these teams are defensively. But yeah, it's like, would you rather have Julian Sayin in a tied ball game with Jeremiah Smith and the crew that they have, which is still a good offense? They're just at times they just blow teams out like 21-3, but you're like, that team's not scoring more than 3. We don't have to be, lie to ourselves about it. But yeah, 10 points here feels really generous. Maybe the folks in Vegas are trying to give out Christmas gifts. I don't know. This is not gambling advice.
Yeah, I don't know. The over-under is also 42.5, so they expect a nasty game. Nolan says setup looks very nice, Caleb. Temperature right now is 67 degrees.
Wow.
It was 80 degrees today. It's 67. I had to do it, of course. No, it's beautiful. We're on the beach. We're in Venice Beach today. Venice Beach, Florida, not California. And then we had dinner outside on the beach. It was awesome. It's been beautiful, It's like it was crazy. It's like it was like 70 degrees, and I'm like, it is hot outside because my body's so used to 30, 40 degrees. So
yeah,
I don't know.
We were driving around a couple days ago. I don't know when you left. Did you leave yesterday?
We left at 26. We left after the day after Christmas.
But it was like 50. And I was like, oh, it's a nice day out. It was a good day.
It got to 78 here in St. Louis today. Granted, there's a
cold
front. Yes, there's a big cold front, nerd time, that's coming right through. That's like pushing in, and we're gonna hit like 20. Missouri's having the most Midwestern day if we're talking straight weather, because we hit a high of 78, and we're gonna end the day in like the 20s.
That is crazy.
It's the most Midwestern thing I think I've seen in a really long time.
We're supposed to get hit with a decent cold front too, but we are only at like 30 or 40 today, and then there's gonna be ice, and it's been raining all day. Like it was like
it's been raining. Yeah, there's like a tornado watch.
Yeah, there is, and like southern Indiana.
Like southern part of the
Michigan. It's raining in Buffalo in December.
Yeah, it's crazy. It should be snow right now.
Yes, that's its own level of weird stuff.
It's weird. We don't get into political science stuff, so we'll move on. All right, moving on to the Orange Bowl, which is in the state of Florida, just on the other side. It's also weird. This game's being played at noon. So this is January 1st at noon on ESPN. Usually this is a night game, the Orange Bowl is. So that will be interesting. It's Oregon versus Texas Tech. Oregon is a 2.5-point favorite, guys. That's maybe a little shocking. Over-under set at 52.5, and you can get Texas Tech at plus 105 money line.
I think Oregon is just better overall. I do think Texas Tech's defense is the best unit on the field in this game. So out of even adding special teams, I think Texas Tech's defense is the best unit in general. I just don't trust their offense enough. Their offense hasn't been bad this year, but it hasn't been good. And it's really easy to score 20 points knowing that your defense will give up 10, right? And that's with good field positioning and stuff like that. I think Oregon's defense is good enough to hold back this Texas Tech offense. And this is where I will apply the theory, which I don't know if it really works or not, of that extra long bye not helping, where especially Oregon, I think, did this right in terms of going into the next game because they had the opportunity to. Obviously, James Madison, as we talked about a lot, not on the same playing field, etc. They got some good reps in. They got their guys to play, but no one really came out super banged up. You didn't have like a big injury where you're like, oh my God, this is really going to shift the, playoff dynamics, etc. Got some guys in. So if you want to apply that theory here, which I am, I think that really helps Oregon, especially when you have a Texas Tech team that has been good all year, been very solid defensively, been okay offensively. And, that's the thing I worry about with them is just, yeah, you can stop teams to a certain point, but you also got to score. And there's a lot of teams that can also hold that defense. But I can also see this one being another field position battle, annoying, quiet, because, again, both these defenses are solid. Chip Trayanum's really good. Same guy in their secondary for Oregon. I look at that. Obviously, the Texas Tech defensive line is also legit. And, yeah, it's just if I go by the small things, I like this game being very close. I do think Vegas now has I think Vegas got this one right, like a field goal game. If you told me this was 20-17, with Atticus Sappington having to step up to hit the big one to put Oregon over, I could see that game script.
All right, so Jerry's going with Oregon.
I'm really high on. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of distracted by this.
No, you're fine.
I am really high on Texas Tech's defense. specifically like in the linebacker section. Obviously, was it Rodriguez?
Yep.
Or
Yeah.
yeah, he was like the Heisman guy. I think he's phenomenal. Watching them play BYU is a great Big 12 team. But watching them play each other twice looked like they're not even in the same league. It was really awesome to watch Texas Tech's defense go to work. My one issue with Texas Tech is the offense. But I think that if the offense can minimize mistakes, specifically like turnovers and things like that, capitalize on maybe field goals or special teams and things like that. If they can capitalize on that and just kind of flow, I think Texas Tech's defense could help take care of them. Now, Oregon has a good defense too, but I really do think Texas Tech has one of the best defenses in the country. So I'm actually going to go with Texas Tech to win this by like 3 points. I think it's going to be a close game, but I really like Texas Tech's defense.
I honestly don't know who to pick. The more I don't know. My gut is kind of like Texas Tech, and then I'm like, no, I think Oregon may be the better team. I trust their quarterback more. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things going in my mind. Oregon has to fly all the way from Oregon all the way to Miami. I think that sucks. Tennessee's travel is a little bit better.
That's awful.
That's a long flight.
That's
When you think about it.
But there's any team to
yes.
figure that out, it is Oregon, who has now decided and willingly decided to be like, you know what? We're flying to Piscataway this year, baby. That's a team that understands travel schedules. They've put themselves in that spot.
That definitely does help a little bit. If they didn't play in the Big Ten, I'd probably be like, I don't know about that. But I'm just going to go with, I think it's low scoring. I think it comes down to who makes a play. I trust Dante Moore more than I trust Texas Tech's quarterback. I don't even know his name. So I'm going to go with Oregon. But I think it's going to be one of those. And I think Oregon's also going to look at it and say, we kind of got embarrassed last playoff. Let's put a little run together here. And in the Big Ten, Oregon was they were kind of like viewed as like the forgotten Big Ten team behind the two bigger ones. So I like Oregon. I think it's close, but I think that Dante Moore makes a play at the end of the game to win it.
No, he's been nails. He was nails in that Iowa game. If you want to look at a prime example, I think a team like Dante Moore, it's actually facing a very similar challenge. It was that Iowa game where they drove back down through, and then again, Atticus Sappington, great name, just like saying it while we're here, dropped in that game-winning field goal. And then we're going to get into a lot of red and crimson for the Rose Bowl. This is, and it's actually, isn't it cream and crimson? Isn't that what technically I use? So yeah, we have the Crimson Bowl.
So. Yeah, this is here. A lot of red and white, as I will call it. I'm not going to call it by its stupid names that they try to make up for it. It's red and white. So yeah, we have Alabama versus Indiana. Indiana's a 6.5-point favorite. In any world, if I would have told you that, you've been like, what the hell? Over under is 48.5. You can get Bama at plus 195. And of course, it's January 1st at 4:00, so they can get the perfect sunset. This is my favorite bowl game. I think it's the best bowl game. I almost feel like this should be the national title. It should always be at the Rose Bowl every year. It's just that awesome. It's that cool to watch the flyover. Jerry talked about it. The color scheme will not be as great this year, but it's still going to be cool. You have the mountains, the sunset, everything about it is awesome. And this is going to be a pretty good game and a chance for Indiana to prove we're a little bit more than just Indiana.
Again, we talked about this a lot last week. I think Indiana's just going to out-physical Alabama. And that's going to just throw so many people for the loop. Again, you got some good – this defense is physical. They run the ball better than Alabama. Mind you, this is the same Alabama where Henry yesterday decided to just run for 4 touchdowns against Green Bay. That's the same school, right? Where instead Jam Miller is probably going to get jammed up on the defensive line. The thing about Indiana is they're just so consistent in every shape of the field and every part of the game. Fernando Mendoza doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Elijah Surratt always finds a way to get open, it feels like. If their pass isn't going that well, they're solid in the offensive line. They can run the ball. On the other side, defensively, they're physical. They don't let up big plays, and they've responded. I look really to that Oregon game as such a great point. And also the Penn State game. 2 close matchups and 2 mistakes and moments where you're like, maybe this all comes crashing down, and it didn't. And that was both on the road, mind you. This is a neutral site game, and it's going to feel like a neutral site game. Okay, Bama fans are used to this. They're used to making the trips to Pasadena, or really not Pasadena, but you get what I mean. Pick big bowl game, pick title game, etc. You're telling me I know plenty of Indiana fans right now who are making the trip to Pasadena. This is once in a lifetime, at least for right now. But yeah, Indiana is so consistent at every level, it feels like. And we talked about with like Oregon, Texas Tech, who can take advantage of mistakes, and that's a game where that's really going to matter. I don't think Indiana's going to give them a lot of mistakes. And even if they come out a little flat, which is, again, something that I do think about a lot here, is like, even if they go down a touchdown, I'm not as worried as I would be for other teams, right? I think in the first two games, if a team goes down a touchdown, if Ohio State goes down a touchdown against Miami, my eyes are peaking. Same thing with Texas Tech, Oregon, no matter pick whoever on that side of the game. This game, if Indiana goes down a touchdown, I'm like, they'll probably score again, right? They can run the ball on this team. Like, they can stop Alabama. And Alabama won that last game because Oklahoma made a lot of mistakes. I don't know if Indiana's going to give them the same gifts. I don't know if Fernando Mendoza gives them, a wide open pick six that John Mateer does, or something like that. And not that I'm saying Alabama's like mistake merchants necessarily, but there's something here where I just think even if Indiana struggles here and there, they will be more consistent. And I just think they're a better overall team. Weird world, but give me the Hoosiers.
Jerry, I really like your point that Indiana is consistent. I would say that Alabama is inconsistent. I think that's their biggest problem they've had all year. After the Florida State game, if we look back at what their offense looked like at the beginning of the year, it looked pretty good. But they never really did get the run game going. So I just think that this is going to be awesome. If you would have told us like 3 years ago that Indiana is going to be in the Rose Bowl against Alabama and they're favorites, that'd be awesome.
Almost a touchdown too.
Yeah,
almost a touchdown. Not even just like a field goal, and it's like, it's really even almost a whole touchdown.
Yeah. To be on the right side of history, we could say I'm going to go with Indiana. I just think that, like you said, Indiana is far more consistent. Alabama, I would say one word that describes their offense specifically is inconsistent. And I'm just going to side with Indiana. I think that consistency will keep on rolling.
Yeah, when you look at Alabama when they played Oklahoma, they they took advantage of Oklahoma making mistakes. They were down 17-0 in that game. Let's not forget that. Indiana's going to come out. They're going to play. They're on fire. You have this whole storm of like, okay, hey, we went undefeated. Hey, we went to the Big Ten title. Hey, we won the Big Ten title. We're going to the Rose Bowl, which is what every Big Ten team wants to do. And I think they're better than Alabama. I think the physicality is going to help them a lot. I mean, look at who Alabama's played the last two bowl games. They played Michigan, and they got out physical. Last year, Michigan was terrible, and Alabama was crying about trying to get into the bowl game, and Michigan ended up beating them in the bowl game. So I think the physicality is going to help the Hoosiers. And I think we're going to look at it and keep – Kurt Cignetti is just going to keep rising up to everybody's going to keep jumping on his bandwagon and rising up of like, this guy's a pretty good coach. And we're going to look at Indiana as, a team in the Final Four with a mix in a chance to win the national title. And I trust Fernando Mendoza more than I trust Ty Simpson. So I look at that and I say, I got to go with Mendoza.
I see that. I honestly think the quarterback battle is a little bit more even than I think a lot of folks give it credit for. I don't think Ty Simpson's entirely bad. It does not help when the guy who's literally on the video game cover has been one of the most dropping guys in the college football world right now. But yeah, that's part of that Trevor's point of the inconsistency of Bama is you've had some great moments. Again, one of the few catches Bama made in that game against Oklahoma is Bernard doing one of the craziest mosses I've seen all year, and then return there's like 3 drops. Like it's very boom or bust. And if it does boom, there's a world where Alabama wins this game. They could score this and that. But I look at the fact that I've only seen Bama win a certain amount of games certain ways, and that's just being so much better offensively than the defense they're playing that they could just outscore folks. That they're not really getting tons of stops and stuff like that. Where Indiana's won, obviously big. They beat up on teams. They can outscore folks even if they have a good defense. Look at Oregon. Look at Penn State. That was an ugly game. Or they could just slide. They could just get ugly and nasty Big Ten championship. I don't know how many different ways Bama wins this game. I can see Indiana winning this game 4 different ways. Right. So by that path, Pasadena becomes the land of the Hoosiers. If you said that in St. Louis, that'd be an offense, by the way.
Really?
But yeah, no, Hoosiers like a derogatory term here. By the way.
What?
Yeah. Not as bad as some might be thinking, or else I would not be saying it here. But like, yeah, I'm
the H word, really, Jerry?
Yeah, I know. Hoosiers themselves. But
they hate Indiana that much.
It's not even that they hate Indiana. I don't really know where this came from, but it's even funnier with that in mind because like if you call someone a South City Hoosier, it's like it's a very bad thing. So like it is funny that we're in this world now. When I talk about football, I'm like, yeah, the Hoosiers are good. And they're like, huh? What?
Oh,
Yeah, right. I get funny looks, but again, if I told you Indiana was going to be in the playoff, you would get funny looks in the first place. So here we are.
That's true. No, they're on this kind of meteoric rise after last year, and they're looking to capitalize on it. All right, moving on to our last playoff game here, the Sugar Bowl. Ole Miss versus Georgia. Georgia's also a 6.5-point favorite. Over under is 55.5. You can get Ole Miss at plus 195. This is the nightcap on the New Year's Day. And this is Pete Golding's first real test as a head coach. He got Tulane last week. This is his first real test with the Georgia team, who, before they had this little bye, has been on fire.
And I think that point of Pete Golding really having his first test is why I'm willing to lean with the Dogs. Because, again, in this back and forth on the first time, it is hard to beat a team twice, but it does not help when you're missing your head coach. I get it. Pete Golding's taking the reins, this and that. He's a very different guy. But, okay, Pete Golding went out of his way after the Tulane game to be like, Charlie Weiss couldn't afford to call a bad game. All this time he's heard about Lane Kiffin this, Lane Kiffin that. It's one thing to call that against John Summerall and the folks down there at Tulane that are trying their damnedest. It's not to call up your offense against Kirby Smart and that defense. And this defense has never been that elite. And by Georgia standards, this defense is bad, right? Which is crazy to say. But this is one of the few times I don't really always point to this. This is where head coaching and I feel like game management and stuff like that is going to come down to a guy like Kirby Smart, where he just has that experience. And even though it is, again, hard to beat a team twice, I really can kind of see it here. This game will be weirdly close, but I do think there's a certain point where there's just a mistake somewhere. And I don't know if Georgia's going to be the team that makes mistakes because this year they've been very solid at limiting those mistakes the later they go into the year. And you want to talk about a guy who's struggled to make mistakes, it is Gunnar Stockton. We're talking about mistakes. I just saw a ball gets deflected here.
Yes, the Eagles blocked the extra point.
Yeah, so you want to talk about mistakes piling up there for a team in red, and that is the Bills. But again, I don't know on New Year's Day if the team in red most likely will be having those same mistakes. Give me the Dogs.
And in this world, Caleb, I'm talking to you specifically here.
Yeah.
In this world of the Indianas, in the Ohio States, what happens when ain't nobody talking about Georgia?
That's a good thing, dude. That's when they do their.
It's a good thing. Caleb has been saying this since the beginning of the college football season. When ain't nobody talk about Georgia, that's good for Georgia. And I think that they are being overlooked right now. Caleb his fruitions have come true. And I think they're in a perfect spot to make a really good run here. Ole Miss, they already played Ole Miss. They don't have the coach that they had when they played them. They lost by, I don't know, double digits. So
it was like 43-35. That was a good game.
It was a good game. Yeah, Ole Miss was up, and then Georgia came back.
Yeah. So I remember now. I was at corn dance with my girlfriend. That's not a flex, bro. It's not a flex. My bad, dog. My bad. I just think that Georgia has played really well towards the end of the season. I think they're going to keep rolling, giving me Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, look, Trevor's right. I did say, like, no one's talking about Georgia. It's a good thing for Georgia because it is, because it's one of those things where it's a forgotten team, and that's one of those teams you don't really want to forget about because of what they can do and the coach that they have and the track record that they have when doing things. And look, I like Georgia to win the whole thing. I think that they have the team to do it. I think that they play the mold of the team that they want to play. Run the football. They have a quarterback that can run the ball, make the throws when it needs to be made, do all of those things. Their defense, like to Jerry's point, it's not, in their mind, it's not a good defense. It's not a great defense. They'd look at this and say, are you kidding me? But it can get the job done. They can make big plays. I trust Kirby Smart scheming it up. That's why I'm going to go with Georgia over Ole Miss. It's nothing against Ole Miss to be like, oh, but I just think if you had Lane, I'm like, okay, I think they can beat them after the second time. It's just you don't have Lane Kiffin. You played Tulane. This is where you need Lane to draw up the plays and do everything that he can. I get Charlie Weiss is an innovative mind and your offensive coordinator, but Lane has the final decision on things when it comes to the offense at Ole Miss, and Lane ain't in the building anymore. So I just think this is a chance for Georgia just to keep chugging along, and they want to come back from the embarrassment of losing last year in the playoff after the bye. They want to prove, hey, we're in the Sugar Bowl again. Everything that happened, let's just get through. Let's move on. Let's do this, and let's keep moving forward. So, yeah, I mean, I like Georgia. So we all have Georgia. We all have Indiana. Trevor has Texas Tech. Me and Jerry have Oregon. You two have Ohio State, and I have Miami. Look, we're set up for a fun day.
Yeah, we are.
Fun couple days. They're going to be fun. All the games are on ESPN. Remember that. That's, kind of going to throw some hiccups for some people. But look, it's going to get fun here, guys, in college football.
And we've had a lot of fun in the NFL. A lot of fun.
It's been a great time. I love, when the Bears don't even have to play and we win some. It makes me feel better.
Oh man.
I wish that a lot of our players would feel better because as we go here,
DJ Moore is playing. He is playing.
Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah. Well, you want to talk about hiccups for like games and stuff. Finding every football game this week for the NFL was a pain. So let's just call a spade. Everything being on ESPN was kind of actually nice in comparison. Like, hey, we were on Christmas Netflix and Prime. There's an NFL Network game that we don't even have on here because they didn't give us a score bug. That's not even a Caleb diss. That's just NFL Network put a 10-win team game. 2 teams with 10 wins were on NFL Network today, yesterday on
a Saturday.
Yeah, and then returned the other big boy game that had major implications for us Chicago Bears fans was on Peacock. And I can't even complain about the college football. College football is notoriously bad for having to find your favorite team. To
watch Week 17 of the NFL season, you had to have Netflix, Prime Video, NFL Network, Peacock, Fox, CBS, ESPN,
and NBC.
Peacock, NBC. I threw them in together.
Yeah. But they're separate. That's what's crazy about.
So yeah, eight if you don't got to do them together. I don't count this often.
No,
and we're at the part of the season where it's important time. Games matter. You have some big games on, divisional games, or you have the game like the Eagles-Bills where it's non-divisional, but it's still important when you look at seeding and how it all goes in the great scheme of things. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest one for me is the Buccaneers because they were at one time, what are they, like 6-1, I think? Yeah. Riding high, and now you lose to the Dolphins.
It's the Baker Mayfield experience. Like this is, Baker. When Baker's good, he's elite. Like he can. And I think I don't think I'm stretching by calling him elite when he's at his peak.
He was MVP talk,
and it was legit. And I think it was fair at that point. But it's the same roller coaster that you go up, you go down. Like, it's kind of like St. Louis temperatures today. Like when you were at high 78, it was crazy, and now we're going to sit here and end in the 20s. Like that's kind of been how Baker Mayfield's been this year, and it's not all him. There's obviously a lot of injuries here. I know isn't Chris Godwin back, but Mike Evans is still hurt, something like that.
Mike Evans played. He got like 13,000 yards or something.
Yeah, it's like it was one of those two swaps. So like they've had a lot of injuries and stuff like that. At one point, as someone who has Baker Mayfield in fantasy, it was like, who's Baker throwing to is a great question mark, and stuff like that. But yeah, and also this is what's so weird is as Bears fans, we've been slugging it out of the NFC North, like us winning the North. Not to just go back to this, it feels like such an accomplishment from all this. And then there's gonna be someone who wins, like between the Panthers and the Bucks, still have an opportunity. Like that's gonna be a playoff team and a division winner. And I sit there and just go like, God, why? Why do we get out of your toughest battles? Like that's the type of question I'm asking in return because, for a second there, I was like, could the Bears be the number 1 seed? There's the first half of this game here.
There's still a chance, Jerry.
There's still a chance. But I was like, oh, man, maybe Seattle does that loss for us right here against Carolina. Maybe they're legit. No. That second half told me nothing. On a different note, the Browns.
Yeah,
okay. All right. Cool. Shedeur didn't even play good. He made some throws, but the 2 picks he threw, he almost had a third one, by the way, which I know Steelers fans are absolutely seething about. This game was ugly, disgusting, peak Ohio weather in December. Not snowing, though. Rainy, nasty. They only had the part of the field, like the middle part of the field was green, actual green grass. The rest was just like dead grass. And there was a play, I think it was like a first or second down. Shedeur Sanders tries to hit an out route, kind of like his safety valve, and just throws it so light, and it could have been a pick six that really could have shifted this game. But instead, we also have battles in the AFC here. shout out to the Ravens keeping themselves alive, and shout out
Yeah.
to the Steelers. Miles Garrett may not have gotten the record. Maybe that's going to be the thing that propels Cleveland in the future. Like Miles Garrett should sit next week, start next year trying to get the new record again. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, we're so afraid," and then they play terribly. In mind, also, what is it? The Steelers missing 2 wideouts, which Jim Nantz and Tony Romo made sure you knew.
Sorry. No, the Miles Garrett thing. I remember like 6 weeks ago, where like the record was a for sure thing, and now it's getting like a little scary. Like he just needs one to break it, right? He's a half a sack behind.
Well, now the argument's going to be it took him 17 games to break the record.
That's a good point. Oh my gosh, and it's almost like the guy who had it before, Michael Strahan.
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
And then how mad he was at Brett Favre for getting sacked by Michael Strahan. He like was.
No, he didn't get sacked. He's like, you gave it to him.
Yeah, exactly. I was telling my buddy Xander. I was telling him earlier. I was like, dude, if I was the next team, I'm letting him sack me. Like I'm going to be the guy that gets sacked to break the record. But yeah, that's really interesting. The Jaguars, they're really turning it on. Trevor Lawrence didn't have a great day today, but I think he's been playing really, really well. He did throw a pick. He had a rushing touchdown. Obviously, the Eagles, Bills is coming here to an end. The Jets are terrible. The Panthers don't know if they want to be good or bad. Buccaneers are bad now. Bengals beat the Cardinals.
Sure. And we don't care about this game. Which is also kind of all the Christmas games. As much as we there's a reason we've not talked about the Netflix Prime.
Because none of them matter.
I was watching the NBA.
I did enjoy the Cowboys Commanders game.
None of it mattered.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like they need to have like special cool uniforms just for that. The Lions wearing black was like they were at their own funeral. Which I will say was kind of funny because Jerry, I don't know if you heard it, but I heard it in Michigan. All I heard from these Lions fans, like, "Oh, Ben Johnson's not our offense, man. He's not Dan Campbell's our offense." Well, one's in the playoffs and one isn't, and his name is Ben Johnson. He's done
what a historic fall off.
Well, look, I say it all the time. The window closes in the NFL, and the Lions window was in San Francisco. That first year they made the playoffs, and it closed, and now you're like trying to figure out how to get it done. And it's actually a good division. I mean, all the teams could finish over 500. So,
yeah,
I mean, you look at it and it's like, well, this is a pretty good division. It's really good. And there's young quarterbacks in there and teams that are, trying to make their way up. It's also crazy. The Packers haven't won an NFC North title since 2021, which is the longest drought. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things.
So what do you guys think about this Vikings team?
I think they have a really good coach, and everything outside quarterback's really good. They just haven't figured out the quarterback. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, they won with an undrafted player. I was like, there's no way the Lions lose this game. There's no way they lose this game. And they lost the game. And it wasn't like Justin Jefferson had 200 some yards. It was just the defense. Like Jared Goff had, I think, 5 turnovers by himself, and they had 6 total as a team. I mean, I don't know. The Lions have a lot of things, and it's not like the Lions are bad and it's like destroy the team or whatever. But when you lose to a team that you should beat, and you should beat with a backup quarterback, and you have Jared Goff on the other sidelines, where you're like, oh, this is our guy. We've given him that contract, and he looks like that, and the backup just enough. It's kind of tough.
In a game where you really need to win. Too.
Yeah, you needed to win too. Yes, without a doubt. Like if you won out, you're in the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. Like you have your chance. You lose that game, and it's like now you're out of the playoffs. Now it's everything's crumbling inside. Now you got to figure things out.
Don't you love that? Like all of these like Lions fans are just gone now. Remember how many there were around here, Caleb? There's just so many Lions fans everywhere, and now there's almost no Lions fans.
It shows you how quickly it changes. That is true. But it shows you how quickly it changes in the NFL. How quick you can be here, and then you get knocked. I mean, the Bears were terrible last year, and now we end up winning the NFC North.
Dude, yeah.
Where no one really expected that to happen. Yeah. So not only do we make the playoffs, but then we win the NFC North. So it's just how quickly it changes and it shifts in this flow of this, and how it also shows how tough it is to be consistent. Like what the Patriots did never happens. What the Chiefs do never happens, right? So you see that, and it's just like when your team has a chance, you got to take it. You got to do what you can, and now you're stumbling around trying to figure out what your next move is.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these results this week too kind of speak to just how weird this year has been. Like, okay, the Broncos beat the Chiefs, which in the preseason you'd be like, whoa, that's a big deal. Middle of the season, you've been like, oh, that's interesting. It has title implications. Now we're like, oh my god, the Broncos only beat the Chiefs by 1 score. Like, it's just a very, very weird game and a weird moment here that we're trying to keep Trevor involved in the loop in.
What just happened?
The Bills are trying to make a comeback. A little lateral.
Yeah, a little lateral. They did this against who did they lose to? They did this against the Texans.
Did they get it?
They did. They got the 4th and 10.
Who got the yards?
I can't tell. It wasn't James Cook.
I need James Cook to get as many yards as he can.
It was not James Cook.
Yeah, I didn't see the dreads.
I need this game to go into overtime.
Please stop this, Caleb. My heart.
I need it.
I would never do this to you, bro.
I need it. Yeah.
Well, this game is so interesting to me because I'll keep us on this Eagles Bills game because I look at how these games, obviously, as we talked about, have tons of playoff implications in front of them, right? Some teams being knocked out, some teams giving themselves a chance. I am really keeping my eyes on the Bills. And it's just because if there's any year where Josh Allen and the Bills should have some type of run where we talk about the windows opening and closing, it should be this year. There's a chance you don't have Lamar Jackson in this playoffs, right? And Lamar Jackson, even this year, has just been banged up. He does not look like the same Lamar Jackson we've known for years. He's not scrambling the same way. Like, that's just kind of obvious. And obviously, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, that team that just found ways to win games every year, not sniffing the playoffs. And oh my Lanta, something just happened here in this live reaction. Is that a catch? I think it is. Oh my Lord, the Bills. I was talking about them. I'm very curious about what they do, and I cannot tell you who that was because that TV screen's far away. Just made probably the catch of the day to hurt Trevor's heart, but really keep the Bills fans and faithful excited.
This might go into overtime.
Is this James Cook at Highmark? Do we know?
What?
Is this the last game at Highmark Stadium?
No.
I have not looked at a Bills schedule this year. Sorry.
Maybe. They are going to open up the new stadium next year, though, right? Like
yes, at least to my knowledge. So I'm also very curious if this is like the final send-off for the stadium here. I'm actually looking at the schedule right now. It's a TBD. I hate that run game is going to be flexed. Nope, next week is. Okay, so
next week is the farewell game.
Unless they play a home playoff game too. But again, at least regular season-wise, we know next week is. We are sitting here about 30 seconds. I might be behind you two as well, so I'm trying to live.
I'm not even really watching.
Yeah, Josh Allen's doing Josh Allen things. He is running. Oh my Lord! Oh my Lanta! He moves into about like a 3-yard line. The clock will still be running unless they call it timeout, which it did. It's gonna be like 3rd and goal.
Oh, how much time's on the clock?
About 23 seconds. Yep.
So you can't run it.
This is gonna be real weird. This is probably this has been one of the better games this week. And return in the 3:00 window is one of the most disgusting, vile performances of football, where the Giants decided to beat up on the Raiders.
Why was that at 4:00?
Because you could hide it from this game. That's exactly what this was.
They're fighting for the number 1 pick.
Honestly, in its own way, is entertaining. It's like backwardsly entertaining. And as Bears fans, we appreciate this. We've been there, we've done this, and who knows? In like 3 years, we could be doing it again. That tells you about how small these windows can feel. But we're sitting here. I still can't believe as Trevor sweats this game out. Caleb,
I'm like sick too, dude. This is terrible.
We're still in the playoffs even if we lose these 2 games.
No, I know. Not only are we in the playoffs, Jared, but we have
a home game. Soldier Field is a home game.
We've won our division in a very tough division. People said coming into the year that was going to be the toughest division, and
it's played out. Okay, again, we just talked about the fact that all teams in that division could end up above 500 here. Let's see here, 3rd and goal, a couple yards here. Josh Allen finds short. Oh, that looks like a touchdown.
To who?
Knox.
Yeah, to Dawson Knox, dude. James Cook's not touching the ball right now, dog.
I need this game to go to overtime. I need Devonta Smith to have
going to overtime unless they go for 2.
Yeah, unless they go for 2 here, you might get some extra love here for it sounds like here, are we doing fantasy or parlay here? What's the problem?
I need fantasy. This is all right. I don't care about a parlay. I care about fantasy.
Hey man, this is 2025 now. These both.
Is that not a pick?
Oh my god. No, Trevor is having a moment. Don't worry. I think that honestly that was much as they're having fun here. And I cannot wait to watch the Bears on Sunday night and have Mike Tirico and the company. Chris Collinsworth talk about my sweet baby boy, Caleb Williams, like a god, which I think the Bears might get smoked in this one.
They probably will.
He's down. He didn't score.
James Cook 1 yard touchdown run. That's what I need. That's what I need.
Well, it's like fourth down, so I don't know if they're going to do that. If
they'll
don't
do.
wanna-
They would be smart to do something like that.
Throwing it on the 1 yard line in a consequential game. Well, we've never seen that mean anything before.
No, don't throw. Run with your running back.
In the meantime, to fill time, because I want to make sure we get to at least overtime of this game before.
Creepy Photo said you gave it to him. You son of a gun. You hurt me, Brett. He's talking about the guy that went up to Brett Favre. That's exactly what he said. That video's a little crazy and weird.
Oh yeah, that I remember that video. It was disgusting.
Live reactions right now, loving this. Need more breakdowns like this during Colts games. Maybe take the edge off. Well, we can probably do that next. We could probably do that next year.
Let's talk about the Colts right now for a second or two. What a trip this season.
Sauce Gardner, 1-6 with the Jets and 1-6 with the Colts.
It's not even all that, dude. We were talking about roller coasters here and there, right? Like the Baker Mayfield experience. What about just the overall Indianapolis Colts experience this year?
All reversed.
They're going for it.
And that feels like the Colts season. Like you started here, you thought it was a touchdown, everything's going great, and then you look at it a little bit. 1 or 2 problems hit before, and just reverses course on this. This team could end up below 500.
I will say the Colts, their schedule front half was very easy. They took advantage of it. They did what they needed to do. Their schedule got tough. Injuries happened. Where you trade
destroyed by injuries.
But yeah, that's the thing is you trade for Sauce Gardner. You think, oh, we're in this thing, and then he plays for you for like a game and a half, injures his calf, and you're like, you think a torn Achilles, like it's over maybe. So he's in and out of the lineup. Your quarterback breaks his leg, still tries to play, and it's not like he's Tom Brady to begin with. So you have that problem, and then you go and you get a 44-year-old out of 5 years retirement. Like it's just the whole thing is just crazy to me. Creepy Photo says Riley Leonard going to take over. They should have. Danny Dimes gonna to Cowboys back up. That probably I don't know. The Colts experiment was like, man, they're doing good. You come into the year and you're like, man, Shane Steichen and I forget the GM's name. They need to win or they'll probably be fired.
Is that Ballard?
Ballard. Thank you. And then they come out hot and you're like, whoa, this Colts team, Jonathan Taylor, I'm preaching for the guy to win the MVP because he was so good. And it's like, where is he gone? What's happened to this team? Everything has just been a disaster the back half. And like Jerry said, they could finish under 500.
Like, that's just insane to me. Like, even with, being destroyed by injuries, your backup QB got hurt by a band, like a workout band. And, like, so think about it. Like, you could talk about the whole Phillip Rivers. That feels like its own world of conversation. But, like, the fact that this team had it rolling so
Bills
much,
are going for it.
Well, they should. It's 13-6. They have to go for it. But,
what the hell is that? Give it to the running back every once in a while.
What happened?
Well, here, no, let's have Trevor react in real time because Caleb now wants to be ahead. Let's see here. And it looks like he might
have fumbled it. I don't know. It says touchdown. I don't know. I just don't know what's happened.
No, he definitely.
The Fox has put up the touchdown graphic again, so we'll see if they're right this time.
I think they're going to go for 2. I'll stay quiet on this.
Please.
We can talk about literally anything else. Oh, yeah, Trevor's got the headphones on and everything.
I can't hear you.
This poor man.
We can still hear him, which is
fun. Don't worry. We can still hear you, Trevor. So remember, this is a child's program. He can't hear me, but man, that'd be really nice to tell him at this moment.
I really needed this game to go into overtime. That would have been fantastic.
You can't win them all. Now look at that. This man remembered. He remembered it's a child's program as we do this.
They don't even have James Cook on the field.
I love this being the point of contention. This game also being 13-12 is just disgusting.
Well, the weather has just been discussed. They're not even going to put the kicker out there. They're like, screw you, kicker. You're not going out there.
They're building up the drama just for the
Eagles
Bears.
Call the timeout. Eagles call the timeout.
Yeah, dude, I can't believe that. And we could probably in this meantime talk about Monday night, which weirdly has consequences for
my fantasy team as well. I have Puka and Matthew Stafford.
That's its own thing.
40-pointer.
But also, like, if the Rams kind of keep goofing around, they have the playoff spot clinched, if I remember correctly. Like,
they have it clinched, but they're definitely go from 1 seed and winning your division to on the road at Tampa or
which
Carolina.
honestly feels so unfair. If they get Tampa out of all this, or Carolina, like, sometimes this sport just finds a way to be annoying and beautiful at the same time. The 2-point conversion is on the way again, 13-12, about a couple of seconds here. Caleb did not have the reaction to it. I'm going to find out what from Trevor's reaction because I'm behind both of them. I love the streaming world. And it looks like the Eagles will hold.
He was wide open.
He was. He just missed the throw. Uh-oh. We're all happy. Thank the Lord he made it himself. This is great. I was worried there was a penalty for a second with the way Trevor reacted to this post all this. But no, look at this.
He was wide open.
The moment was there, but the Eagles will prevail.
The Eagles!
I mean, that's why you run it with James Cook.
He had the throw. He just missed it.
God, bro.
He missed the throw. Out of all the quarterbacks who missed the throw, he missed the throw.
No, and again, now we can go back to this. Now that cooler heads will prevail. I'm so curious about this Bills team long term. Not to just instant react.
No, it's a great point because if you look at the quarterbacks who are going to be in the playoffs in the AFC, you have Bo Nix, Drake May, Aaron Rodgers, or either Lamar Jackson. Most likely Aaron Rodgers. Don't
and
they
probably
play?
hurt Lamar Jackson.
They play next week, right?
Yes.
So you have them. You have C.J. Stroud, and then you have
onside.
Trevor Lawrence, and then I don't even know who the other team in the AFC is. But you look at the quarterbacks, and you're like, Josh Allen's by far the best. And this is your year. You don't have Patrick Mahomes. You don't have Lamar Jackson fully healthy or a good Ravens team. This is the year you win the Super Bowl, and I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's what I'm very curious about here as the Eagles recover the onside kick. That will be an Eagles W. No excitement.
That's
a big win for the Eagles, so I will say.
It's huge, dude. We lost to the Chargers. They just got fraud checked by the Texans. And
I'm glad you brought that up because I think the Texans, you want to talk about sneaky team.
Dude,
they're legit.
Their defense.
They are so good.
Well, their game against the Bills. Remember, we were texting about that one. They slaughtered Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Slaughtered him.
I really think, and what has impressed me so much about Houston is they've gone on this late run. It doesn't matter who's at QB. There's going to be some real offseason discussions. We'll probably have some of them about how good CJ Stroud has been. He's been fine. He's been okay. He had that really good rookie season. I think a lot of people still think of that, but he hasn't been this elite top 5 or even you can argue top 10 quarterback. He's kind of in the middle of the pack, but that defense has worked out. Shout out Lovie Smith. I think that's what I take away from all this. Lovie Smith has found a way to keep his Bears happy and the team he was coaching to a bright future in Stroud, Will Anderson, and company. And that's a game I know we don't have the score bug on here for, but that game, I was just so impressed again by Houston's defense. And if there's any team that I think could make a sneaky run, it would be Houston. They have a lot of those pieces, and they could just lock up anybody. And they keep doing it week to week. Each game's 20-13, and you're like, oh, how did the Texans score 20? Well, their field position was great because they sacked the quarterback 18 times.
No, their defense, it's one of those teams where it's you look at it, and it's if this was 2000s football, it'd be that team's going to the Super Bowl, doesn't matter who their quarterback is. But the times have changed. But no, everything about their defense is really good. And they have weapons on offense. They can string some things together.
Wasn't C.J. Stroud 4 for 4 with 2 touchdowns? Or is that – I'm pretty sure that's
at one point, yes.
Right?
At one point he was.
Yeah.
He's not bad. I'm not trying to say C.J. Stroud's a bad quarterback, but it's not this. It's not the same.
But people jumped off the bandwagon after that rookie year. After the rookie year, there was top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Well, he kind of regressed to the mean, and I think that's fair to say. I don't think I'm necessarily disservicing it or really being harsh here. I think if anything, C.J. Stroud went from upper echelon top QB to kind of towards the middle of the pack, maybe upper. Maybe top 15, maybe put him 12, 13 if I'm just doing rough there. And maybe, you can make the argument for a lot of people nowadays, but it's not he's been that promised land QB that rookie season came off, but it doesn't matter. I think that's kind of the point here is they in a weird way, they feel like a Georgia football team this year of the NFL. Gunnar Stockton's a fine quarterback, right?
Yeah.
He won't make a lot of mistakes. He'll do all this and that. CJ Stroud's a fine quarterback. Like, he's not – at times he has the elite traits. I think he can make plays. I don't want to discount him for that much. But it's not like I go to CJ Stroud this year and I'm like, oh, my God, you've been lights out. It's like, no, your defense has been fantastic. Granted, the weapons in Houston are kind of hit or miss. Nico Collins, obviously fantastic. Dalton Schultz, solid. The running backs, isn't that kind of by committee now? Like, then they have like an injury going on there too.
Woody Marks is kind of taking over.
Yeah, I remember they've been kind of all over the place, but like that's a team I'm really keeping an eyeball on too. So like, honestly, my fascination's been on the AFC because the NFC is just fun for me. This has been a great time.
Awesome.
We're just living the dream.
Just living my life. No, it's been fun. The season's been fun. It's coming down to one more regular season week. Next week is pretty much one playoff spot to lock up whoever wins the NFC North, which I don't know if the NFL had anything to do with Shador beating the Steelers this week, but they may have. And I think the other thing, too, is the teams that are kind of like down the stretch, kind of struggling, like the Packers losing and Jordan Love being hurt, the Bills just losing, so it's going to be like, how can you pick up momentum? Can teams pick up momentum like the Eagles? Do they take this Bills win, go into the last game of the year against the Commanders, and then kind of run away with it? You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be very interesting to see that. But no, I mean, it'll be very fun. Creepy Footer says Jags, Texans defense have been insane for AFC South. Rams defense is insane as well as Cleveland's defense. Good as always. Myles Garrett, a one-man show. Yeah, Cleveland's just, their defense is good, but they just don't have anything else to figure it out. But I don't know. I mean, look, the playoffs are going to be fun. It's what I like about the playoffs is it's pretty much new blood. With the Chiefs being out, it feels like it's new blood, and it feels like anything can happen. And it just kind of feels like it's that year where it's probably going to be a Super Bowl matchup where we're like, this is our Super Bowl matchup.
But our way to get there has been fantastic. No matter what way it goes, it could be an ugly matchup. I hope, Caleb, that you were right all this time and that the Chicago Bears are the team that ends up there.
Hey, we're playing there this week. We're getting our early visit.
Yeah, right. We're scouting out the territory. That's right. But this has been a really fun NFL season. Next week is always one of my most favorite weeks, just because it gets really weird. Like, there's usually a record thing, or there's some contract incentives that get hit. And for the first time in a long time, depending how this goes, the Bears might be resting starters in the last week of the season.
Could be.
Whoa. What? What is this world we live in?
That's crazy. I know the Packers said that they're going to be resting people this next week, which is smart. It's weird, man. I honestly cannot remember a year, though, where this many playoff spots have been locked up before the last week. So I think that's what makes it interesting, too. But, I mean, Pittsburgh Ravens, I think, will be the Sunday night game. That'll be the last game to end the regular season. And then we're going to look at that for the playoffs moving forward. But I don't know. It's just been fun. It's going to be fun. We have the playoff games in college to look forward to. The bowl games now moving into that. Some great matchups, great marquee teams. We've just been kind of lucky so far this season.
Absolutely.
And then we start talking about college basketball, baby. It sneaks in, whether you like it or not. I don't like it this year. Missouri basketball's terrible. So, it's going to be tough. This is the year where I remind myself that my sister goes to Michigan State, and that's how I enjoy it.
That's how it's like I can root for Notre Dame football, but basketball, they just lost to Purdue Northwest.
Don't worry, Missouri lost to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So, it's circle of suck here is going to get real good real fast.
It's how do you, if anybody knows about anything about Purdue Northwest, how in the hell it's a community college, Trevor. It's a community college in northern, it's like Chesterton, Indiana.
Shout out Marcus Burden, man. That man is missed. That man is missed right now in South Bend or Notre Dame, Indiana, because that matters.
It's back to South Bend, Jerry. No one says Notre Dame, Indiana anymore. Except the city and the university are one now. Jerry.
Yeah, except the mailing address. Yeah, when them checks get sent to Notre Dame, they're not sent to South Bend.
They are one now, Jerry. They love each other now.
For like 3 more years. Get your Ben jerseys while you can. The Ben jerseys, get them now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been one of those fun rides. We will be back next Sunday. We will not have a midweek show. That's why we did the picks today with the holidays and everything. So we'll be back. We will go over the playoff games in college. We'll look ahead to the playoff matchups early on for the NFL. And if anything happens, if I said it last week, if a coach does something inappropriate with a staffer or maybe someone that attends the school. I don't know what's next. What can be next?
The
Well, we haven't talked
mascot.
about Ohio yet. We've saved that one, so we have that in the back.
Someone's going to start porking the mascot.
The mascot. That would be
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, look, you never know what some of these coaches do. I mean, you never know. And we also, what do they call it? Black Monday in the NFL for coachings.
Yeah, so we have
coach
that coming up
firings.
soon.
So we have that coming up with already some openings, Tennessee opening up. So, and the Giants. So it'll be very, very interesting to see the hirings and firings. But with that being said, and as always, thanks for watching.
See you on 2026, baby.
Yeah.